Next, we have an entrepreneur whose initial path followed our previous speaker, Vidyut. An unexpected conversation with a lady farmer who was facing her own challenges made him reflect on the problems that every farmer faces across our country.
Chance meetings have a chance to change the world. Here we have another example of the fusion of technology and sustainability. And there is no sweeter music in today's day. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage Kaushik from Khyeti.
So almost 15 years ago, I was graduating college, and I felt like I was on top of the world. I had done, for a kid from Hyderabad, I had done all the things that were required for success. I was good at math, so I studied hard. I went to IIT. I made sure I recruited for a consulting firm, and I had this almost 10-year plan of success in an Excel sheet made and ready. But suddenly, during that time, I like to call what I had my quarter-life crisis. I suddenly realized that all of the stuff that I was doing was the right path, but not really my path, and something that excited me. So I did a lot of soul searching, and I found this magical world, I thought, of social enterprise. You could build an enterprise and also make impact. Why wouldn't you do that? Sounds very easy. I probably will take me 2 to 3 years. That's what I thought. It didn't take me 2 to 3 years to build something. But much to the bafflement of my friends and family, I turned down that 10-year plan and jumped headfirst into this world of social impact. I joined a startup which was helping school dropouts get access to jobs through vocational training schools. I was the first employee there. I spent 5 years there and living out of 2 bags, traveling all across India. I lived in 14 states of India, spending my days in thousands of villages and my nights in hundreds of small towns. It was extremely hard. I was getting paid almost next to nothing. But it was an exciting time for me. It was really foundational for me and what I like to call apprenticing with the problem. It really made me understand the complexities of the challenges of rural India and really gave me an education which I hadn't had before. So during that time, we were training these kids. By the time in 5 years, we had set up 200 training centers. We were training 50,000 youth every year. We were making a lot of impact. But some part of me was dissatisfied. I felt like we were solving a symptom of a problem rather than the problem itself. Most of the youth we were working with were from farming families. And they were looking to us not because this was aspirational, but because their agriculture was failing. So the problem solver in me said, why don't I really build something in agriculture that will solve the core problem of livelihoods and really create a long-term impact? And that's where my tryst with agriculture began. So I met my co-founders who were going through similar journeys. They had been entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs before. And we came together with this vague idea of agriculture, but the way we came to our mission was really stepping back and traveling all across India, meeting 1,000 farmers. We lived with those farmers, we worked with them in the fields, we talked to them and really tried to understand the challenges that they were facing. One of the farmers that I met during that time was Reshma. Reshma is a small farmer who's been growing vegetables in her family's 3 acres of land for the past 15 years in a village called Depalle in Telangana, about a few hours from the Hyderabad airport. Reshma is a force of nature. Every time you meet her, she has this energy and enthusiasm and a smile on her face. She's the kind of person that infects you with her energy. You know, we've all met people like that, right? But as I spent more time with Reshma's family, I realized that her reality didn't really match that optimism. The year that I met her, half of her tomato crop was wiped out by a pest attack. The year before that, one unseasonal rain had halved the yields of her capsicum crop. For 6 months in a year, Reshma wasn't growing anything in her land because of excess heat and lack of access to groundwater that was getting worse every year, she said. And it wasn't just Reshma's problem. We heard this story again and again and again over those 6 months with those 1,000 farmers. There are 100 million smallholder farmers across India. These farmers work hard all year long, but have absolutely no control over their incomes because of external environmental risks, something that is getting worse every year due to climate change. Every year, farmers work hard, but heat, pests, rain, hail, water, they decide whether they succeed or fail, not their hard work or ingenuity. Simply put, for smallholder farmers in India, hard work does not pay. And we started Khyeti to change that. Inspired by thousands of farmers like Reshma, we've designed the Khyeti greenhouse in a box, a low-cost modular greenhouse that helps farmers protect their crops from environmental risks, increase their yields, and increase their incomes while growing more sustainably, using 1/50th the water when compared to open cultivation. So what does the greenhouse do? It's a steel structure you've seen before, which has pest netting on all sides, which helps farmers protect their crops from pests. It has shade netting on top, which reduces heat by 5 degrees centigrade and helps farmers grow in the harsh summer. It has polyethylene sheeting, which helps farmers protect their crops from unseasonal rain and excess winds. And drip irrigation, which combined with the shade netting, helps farmers use 1/50th the water when compared to open cultivation. You can see the difference for yourself. A couple of years ago, with a farmer, we used the same seeds, same fertilizer, same water, same drip irrigation, and planted cucumbers next to each other in the same soil, outside the greenhouse and inside the greenhouse. When temperatures hit 45 degrees centigrade in the summer, the outside plants failed while the greenhouse plants thrived. This is the resilience our product brings to farmers like Reshma. And what makes our greenhouse unique is greenhouses have been around for decades, is three things, and makes them ready for smallholder farmers is three things. First is it's low cost and modular. Traditional greenhouses have been available in large commercial sizes to larger farmers, and small farmers have never been able to afford them. So we made the Khyeti greenhouse to be modular. It starts at 1/20th an acre, around half the size of a basketball court, and farmers can invest in them over time and increase the size of cultivation. It costs 80% lower than regular greenhouses. It is also made for India, for Indian vegetables. So greenhouses have been traditionally used only to grow exotic vegetables like lettuce and broccoli and other areas. Our farmers grow tomato, cabbage, cauliflower, brinjal, okra, and very soon potatoes and onions as well. The third is that for small farmers like Reshma, when we started listening to them, technology alone is not enough because they face roadblocks at every step. They don't have access to knowledge, seeds, inputs, maybe maintenance services to make a technology like this work for 15 years. So we provide all the services that are needed to make a greenhouse work. So we provide high quality installation, maintenance. We do crops R&D and train farmers every year on new practices. We provide seeds and inputs. And also finally, we provide advisory 7 days a week using technology over WhatsApp, on the phone and call center for farmers to choose the right crop, what to plant, when to plant, how to take care of the crop, and where to sell the crop as well. All of this creates a seamless path towards a steady, dependable income. So today we work with 1,200 farmers across 6 states of India, and we've grown 4x over the last 12 months. And 75% of these farmers own less than 5 acres of land. So our greenhouse generates, on average, 75,000 rupees of additional income for these farmers, from our smallest size greenhouse, which is, for most of these farmers, 100% increase every year on their farm incomes using just 2% of their land. In payback terms, this is a 9-month payback period for farmers for an asset which lasts 15 years. But it's a win-win as well. So on every farmer, Khyeti is profitable. We make a profit on each greenhouse sold, but we also make an ongoing revenue to the seeds and inputs that we sell to farmers. So the farmers win, they double their income, and we are also building a sustainable company. These farmers also saved more than 700 million liters of water over the last couple of years. All of this progress has not been just because we persevered or only through our effort. We've had help at every step. First, in the form of partners. Our design started in Israel and the US before it became really Indian, and our design came in-house. We had partners who gave us access to farmers, like FPOs, NGOs, and other organizations. We worked with financiers who took a chance and built a loan model for farmers so that we could create a proof of concept. We have many other partners across other areas. We also have a global set of funders who invested in us when we didn't have a product, program, prospects, all of that, just because they believed in the mission the same way that we did, and helped us bring expertise and guidance so that we built what we have built. Finally, my team is not just me. My co-founders have been social entrepreneurs before. They bring in experience in agriculture, in social enterprise, and a lot of networks to the pedigrees that they have. Our board consists of impact investors, strategy experts, and agriculturists who guide us at every step. We've also been very humbled to be recognized, and it gives me immense excitement to talk about how much the area of climate action has gotten prominent over the years. Most recently, following in Vidyut's footsteps, we also won the Earthshot Prize, which was dubbed the Eco Oscars, and we were the only Indian company this year to win, the same way Takachar was the only Indian company last year to win. Thank you. In closing, I want to bring you all back to Reshma. So Reshma was the first user of our greenhouse. She set up one of our greenhouses for her family, and for the last 3 years has been growing vegetables all year long without having to depend on other source of income, and earned upwards of 3 lakh rupees from our greenhouse. And using this money, she's invested in her family's farm, she's invested in healthcare, in education, and housing. So she's still that force of nature, someone who makes you excited about so many things, but she's also happy and she's hopeful. She's living a life of dignity. That is the dignity we dream to deliver to 1 million families over the next 10 years. But we cannot achieve that dream alone. We need friends who can support us, mentors who can guide us, and collaborators who can join hands in this mission to scale this climate resilience up. So join us in igniting the Smart Farmer Revolution. Thank you.